Once you've clicked the button and you've successfully installed WordPress, you are going to have a screen that looks exactly like this. The next thing you want to do is to go ahead and log into your WordPress website. Now take a look at this link very carefully. As you can see, https, okay, column fin.creditcardmail.com. Now bear it in mind that the first dot here means that I am installing WordPress on a subdomain. FIN is a subdomain. It represents a subdomain. Creditcardmail.com is a domain. Whenever you see slash, it means that we are trying to access the page, or we can call it a directory on the website. Now, I'm still going to try to break this down further so that you can really understand this part before we proceed. So as you can see on this picture, we have a URL here, okay? The same way I try to explain this, take a look at this. This is a URL structure. So what I'm trying to explain now is the anatomy of this URL right here, okay? It is the same for every URL. It's going to be the same for you. All right, take a look at this. As you can see, what we have right here, the first thing we have here is HTTP. This is called a protocol. All right, and as you may have already know, the full meaning of this is hypertext transfer protocol. Now, assuming you had an S here, that would have been hypertext transfer protocol secure. As you can see right here, what I have here is HTTPS. This S is very important. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to know is the www here is a subdomain. If you have HTTP column / and then you have www, this is a subdomain, and is the same thing as what I have here. Fin. This is also a subdomain. However, this is like a standard subdomain. In today's URL anatomy is no more needed. Once you have your HTTPS column / the next thing that should follow is your root domain. Okay, the reason I'm using a subdomain, let me try to explain, is because there is a website already installed on the root domain, which is creditcardmail.com. There is a website already installed on it, and I'm trying to show you how to build a site from scratch. I'm not going to use the existing site. That's why I have to create a subdomain and start from scratch, so I can show you how everything is being set up. So the next thing we have there is the example.com, and this is what we call a root domain. Example here is the root domain. Okay. If you are asked what is your domain name, your domain name is example.com. In this situation, my domain name here is creditcardmail.com. That .com makes up the domain name. This is a top level domain. .com is a top level domain. We have other domain extensions like .net, .live, .academy, whatever. In fact, there are so many of them, thousands of them today. All right. So just know that .com is what is a top level domain. I would call it industry standard. The next thing you have here is slash. Once you have a slash, that slash means that is a what? A subdirectory. It's like your device now. If you're using a phone, you have a folder, you have a file. So a folder, when you have slash after your domain name, that becomes a folder, a subdirectory. And then you have another slash again, that becomes what? A file name. Okay. Now, actually, this can fluctuate. This can change a lot depending on what you're trying to do with that page, that website. So there's another one you need to take a look at, which is this. This is very similar to what we've already done. As you can see, HTTPS column / m dot. This is a subdomain. This is a domain. This is a top level domain. You can see that your domain covers from year to year, right? So this is a top level domain. And then you have cat. This is path. It is the same thing as root, as subdirectory path. Now, what you really need to know here is the query string. Now, you may wonder, why is it looking like this? What is it for? All right. Now, this part, query string, is used to track URL. to give you a certain query request. For example, let's assume that you have a search bar on your website. Whenever someone makes a search, the URL structure is going to call in something like this and make a query to find a specific result. Another thing you really need to know is that it's also being used to track URL. For example, if I'm sending traffic from social media, I will assume Facebook for now. If I'm sending traffic from Facebook to my site, I may need to set up what is called a Facebook pixel. And sometimes it involves modifying the URL of the site such that every website traffic that hit my website from a certain source is going to be tracked successfully. As we advance further to the more advanced part, okay, maybe the AdSense arbitrage part where we will need to set up traffic sources to send paid traffic to our website, you are going to learn better about these things. Okay, so for now, let's proceed. So once you have your WordPress installed, the next thing you want to do is to learn how to set up your WordPress and log in using your website's credentials. Credentials are simply your username and your password. Let's get started. Now, do not forget this. You have wp-admin here. This is a subdirectory that you use to log into your website. So I'm going to copy this. All right, as you can see, I've simply copied this. You do the same thing. Even if you don't copy it, know that whenever you are trying to log into WordPress, as long as you've not made any alteration to the login part, okay, because you can actually change that part, you can change it to something else, but as long as you've not made that alteration, then you can simply log in using wp-admin. So once you've typed in your URL here, have it in mind that you are going to type in your own domain name here, not my domain name. So once you've typed this, your domain name.com/ wp-admin and try to access that, you're going to arrive on this page. Okay, you're going to arrive on this page. Now, once you've arrived on this page, input your username and your password. Remember that when you were installing WordPress, you were asked to input a username and a password. So you're supposed to input the username and the password that you used. Okay, so input your username and your password here, then proceed to log in. So once you successfully input your username and your password and click on login, you're going to arrive on this page. As you can see, this is my WordPress dashboard. This is a new site. This is like a new website. So my site actually looks like this. I'm going to try to view this site on a new tab to see how it really looks for now. Okay. So this is how my website looks. As you can see, I have a new blog and it looks like this. By the way, you can see that this does not look professional at all. This cannot be your professional blog. So we need to do some designing. We need to be able to customize this and design it to our taste. We need to have a menu. We need to have a content page. We have to structure it. There are some things that we need to do. Very important. Okay. So let's take a look at the outline. Okay, now we've set up we've actually been able to use our credentials, and we're going to talk about WordPress setup right now. After which we're going to talk about themes and plugins, categories and tags, and customization. So let's get started. Now we get back to our dashboard. Follow these steps properly, please. The first thing you want to do is to go over to where you have your settings. So we have the site title here, and we have our tagline. Now I'm gonna call this a finance website. This is a finance blog, so I'm gonna call it, what's the name of my site? I'm gonna call it FinTech Pro or FinTech Blog. Whichever thing you want to call your website is your website. You have to brand it. Then for the tagline, just describe what your site is all about. Now, remember what I said here, okay? Make sure you use a Gmail here. It's very important, please. I actually use this because this is like a demo project. It's not a real-time project. If it was a real-time project, like this entire site I'm using right now is a demo project. It's not a real project for me. If it was a real project for me, I would have simply made sure that it's a Gmail here So make sure you use a Gmail address here, please. Not, I'm going to do this right now for you to understand what I'm even saying, please. Not that custom mail. Even if you can set up a custom mail, do not use it for blogging. Custom mail is for official website, please. Now, once you've done this, um, scroll down. If you want people to be able to register on your site, please make sure you tick this. If you're running kind of a membership website, like a website that someone can come over, make registration, have a memberships and all of these things, you have to tick this guy right here. All right. So that being done, click on save changes. Okay. That's for settings. Now, the next thing you want to do is to go to where you have your permalink. As you can see, under settings, we have permalink. Please click on the permalink. It's very important. Very, very important. Now, you do not want your permalink to look like this, please. This is what we call the WordPress setup. There are very important things you need to do. So don't allow this. Choose the post name. Now, let me explain why you shouldn't allow this. In blogging, you put up content on your side. You're going to be writing a lot of content. And if the URL structure of your site looks like this, as you can see, day and name, you now have the date. As you can see what is being written here now, you'll be having date on your URL structure. If you should, let's assume that I write a content now, the content says 10 beautiful female dress for 2021. Okay, that was the past content. Now, the date here is going to show the date the content was published, and it's going to write 2021, and it's not good. I may go back to update the content, that same content. I'm not going to write a new one. Okay, I'm going to update the content, and now the title is now going to be, let's say, 12 best female dress for 2022. So the first content was female dress for 2021, and if the content was already getting traffic from search engine, it is very unreasonable, okay, to try to change the payment structure. If you should change the payment link of that content, you lose your ranking. The content goes to ground zero. It starts from scratch. So if your content is doing well on search engine, you cannot simply change the payment link. You shouldn't change the link structure. Once you do that, you lose the ranking. If you were on the first page of Google, once you change the URL, you go back to like 10 page, 15 page. So you want to make sure that you use this such that instead of having the date being on the link, I can simply have the name of the post. So the date will not be part of the payment link. That means I can simply update and hold post to a new post without losing my website ranking. Very important. Take note of that. All right. So we've done that. I'm going to click on save change. Okay. Now the next thing you want to go to is where you have the discussion. Let me explain. In blogging, once you start getting traffic coming to your site, people will come to your site. Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's bots, and are going to drop spammy comments. You do not want people to spam your website with links and comments. Please, you want to make sure that you keep your website clean in the face of search engine. All right, so what you need to do is to be able to moderate your comment. So as you can see, all a comment in the queue, if it contains two is too much of a number. So it's going to hold the comment in the queue if it contains one link. So anyone that drops a comment on your blog and there is a link on that comment, your website will not approve that comment. Okay. Now, the second thing is to make sure that comments, if you want this, by the way, but I always prefer that comments are manually approved. Okay, comment must be manually approved. Okay, I always prefer it that way. That's what I do on all my sites. If you drop a comment, a moderator has to take a look at the comment before approving it. The reason is people are going to come to your site and spam it up. As long as your site start getting some traffic, people will try to drop a link. They will discover your site. Try to, like other bloggers does this. All right, other bloggers does this, and you have to make sure that you keep your website clean in the face of search engine to avoid what? To avoid being penalized by Google. Because at the end of the day, if your website is being turned to, if you turn your website to where anyone can just come over and drop a spammy link, drop a link to your on your site anyhow, your site is going to lose its ranking. It's going to lose its reputation. It's going to lose its reputation. It's going to lose its value in the face of search engine, and it's going to lose its ranking. And you do not want that, right? So this is what you need to do. Set this as 1 and change this. And then the next thing you do is save changes. Do not forget, always save changes. In all you do, save changes. So we've done the main things you're supposed to do. Those are the important settings that we need to do first, and we've done that. All right, we've done that. So now that we've done all the settings, now what is the next thing we need to do? The next thing is to take a look at this site. As you can see, it does not look like a standard website. So we're supposed to alter this site, the appearance and everything. We're supposed to make it look more presentable. All right. So the next thing we want to do is to talk about themes and plugins. So what exactly is a theme? What exactly is a plugin? What you see right here is the appearance of a theme. This is like a theme to me. This is a theme. All right. Every theme have different appearances. So you want to install a blocking theme on this website, as well as some necessary plugins. But before we install a blocking theme on this website, let's start by installing a plugin. So what are plugins, by the way? Like I said, theme is for appearances. Then what are plugins for? Plugins are for performances, features. For example, if you need a contact form and you cannot set up a contact form directly from this dashboard right here, a plugin can help you set up a contact form. Also, if you need any external feature, like maybe you want to upload a video that does a certain thing, all right, a plugin can actually help you do that. Like functionalities, extra functionalities, whatever you can think of, extra functionalities. Maybe you want to design the site in a way that your theme alone cannot handle that. Then you can use a plugin, for example, Elementor, to design the site in a way that your team may not be able to do it by itself. So plugin adds extra feature to your site. Plugin adds extra functionality. In fact, just know this. This is what you should know about plugins. Anything you want to do on WordPress, anything at all that you want to do on WordPress, and is not there by default, the first thing that should always come into your mind is plugin. WordPress today can actually do a lot. Like you can use WordPress to design almost any type of website, e-commerce, business, uh, like a lot of website. WordPress can do that with the help of plugins. So if you want to sell a product, you want to accept payment gateway, you want to accept payment on the site, you want to host courses, you want to sell membership programs, you want to like affiliate, like anything at all that you want to do, always think plugin. So let's get started with plugin. Let's go ahead and install some very necessary plugins. Very necessary plugins. Okay. So the first plugin that we're going to be installing is called a contact form 7. That's the contact form I normally use. All right, so I'm going to install a contact form so that someone can always contact us if necessary. So I'm going to install contact form 7. By the way, it doesn't end with installing contact form 7. I'm going to activate it, by the way. Then after installing contact form 7, the next thing I'm going to still install is contact form 7 database. So if someone should drop a contact form for me using the contact form plugin I've installed, I need to be able to see what that person dropped directly on my WordPress dashboard. So to do that, I'm going to be installing a second plugin called contact form 7 database. Okay, this would allow us to receive inquiries from website visitor, you receive message, and if someone fills a contact form on our website, we can see the message using these other plugins. Okay, I've installed that. I'm going to activate that later. The next plugin I'm going to install is Yoast SEO. All right. Now, it's always recommended that you install Yoast SEO at the end of what you are doing. Not too fast. You should always install it after you are done designing your website. So I'm going to install it, but I'm not going to activate it for now. I'm going to activate it after I'm done with website design. All right. I've installed Yoast. There are other plugins like Jetpack that are very essential. But by the way, Most of my sites today, I do not use Jetpack again because it's kind of bulky. All right, the features of Jetpack, the main features of Jetpack can be used externally. For example, you can use Google Analytics to track how much traffic you are getting. That's one thing that Jetpack normally do. Let me just show you the Jetpack I'm talking about. It's WordPress Essential plugin. Like I said, it's very heavy. It's an heavy plugin. It's bulky. So if you want to think about the overall performance of your website, the speed and everything, then you can just forget about Jetpack. It's going to put a lot of workload on your servers, and for a starter, you do not want that. All right, this is Jetpack. So we're not going to install this for now. I just wanted you to know about it. The main feature there is that it's going to track your website visitor directly on your dashboard, and it's going to give you features like CDN, content delivery network, um, social sharing. Most of these features, like I said, can be gotten externally. Other plugins we will need will be installed as we proceed further. So for now, let's talk about designing this. What template should we use? Now, let me give you a hint. I can actually use any template of my choice to start designing this website right now. Even the current template can be used. So there's no specific template that is not useful. You can actually use anything, any template, any theme to design your site. It goes down to how good are you with WordPress, how good are you with website design. Now, if you do not want to stress yourself, okay, I'm going to show you a quick way, a very quick way to design a website because I do not want to stress you. So, if you do not want to stress yourself, what you need to do is to install a theme that has a feature called one click demo installation. So, I'm going to install a theme that has that feature, one click demo installation. One click demo installation. Now there are so many teams that have that feature, a lot of them. So let me just see if I can remember a few of them. Okay, let me take a look at Newsmark. If I can remember a few of them that have that feature. Um, okay, I don't think this is it. Newscard. Let's take a look at Newscard. Okay, let's take a look at Newscard if it has it. Okay, I think this one right here have the feature. It has the one theme demo installation. So let's also take a look at MacBook. So take note of this theme right now. You can use this one. It has one click demo installation. The purpose of that is a theme that have one click demo installation is going to be very easy for you to use to install WordPress and easily customize because you are not going to start from the very scratch. You're going to start with an already designed website. Okay, so let's take a look at there's another one. Let's take a look at MacBook. I just want to be able to figure out some of them so you can know more than one. Then anyone that you like the most, just go ahead and use it. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Let me install MacBook. Okay, I'm also going to install Newscard. All right. Okay, so I'm going to be using um, a premium template. Okay, we've installed some free template here, but I'm not going to be using any of them. I'm going to be using a premium template. By the way, I'm going to add this theme to this course. So just check below, just check around this particular page that you're watching this course. You should see a link that is going to lead you to where you can actually download this template for free. I'm going to give you this template. So I'm going to be using Smart Mac. I'm going to be using Smart Mac theme. So I've dragged it out. Okay. I'm trying to install it. This is Smart Mac theme I'm trying to install right now. Okay. Let's see how it goes. I've clicked the installation button. So let's just wait for this to load. Okay. So we have theme installed successfully. Let's go ahead and activate that. Okay, we've successfully activated Smart Mac premium WordPress theme. And the next thing we want to do is just to go ahead and install a demo. So I'm going to click here, as you can see, import demo. Okay, so we need to install some necessary plugins to be able to carry that out. So let's get to where we have install plugins and install all the required plugins. So I'm going to tick on all the plugins at once and scroll down, install. Okay,